Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is Sudhir Sahasranaman, and you're watching Careers with Sudhir, where we bring you important news from the world of education. This particular video is about NEET 2027. We know all that happened with NEET 2026 when the paper got leaked and the re-examination was conducted after that. So, what exactly should we expect from NEET 2027? Please remember that NEET 2027 will be very different from all the NEETs that we have seen so far. The big difference is that the recommendations which have been made by former ISRO chief Dr. K. Radhakrishnan to the NTA, to the Education Ministry have now been accepted, and they will now be implemented phase-wise starting with NEET 2027. So, this particular video is specifically for students, their mentors, fellow educators on how should students who are preparing for NEET 2027, what are the things that they should bear in mind. So a quick video so that you are not unaware of certain aspects that you should ideally know. So the first point is that NEET 2027 will shift to the computer-based testing mode, similar to how JEE takes place every year. Now, the biggest change is that the traditional pen and paper, the OMR sheet on which many of you have been practicing for years, the mock test, the OMR sheet, that has now been junked, that has been put into the garbage bin. Now it is going to be computer-based testing for each one of you. That means now you need to practice your mock test, etc. on the computer. Now, instead of a single high-stakes examination that takes place on the first Sunday of May every year, now NEET 2027 will be spread over a window of 5 to 6 days. It could be 4 days also. It could go up to 6 days also, depending on the number of applicants. This year, it was a little less than 23 lakhs. So 23, if you are saying that if you want to divide it, let's say by 6 days, it means about 4 lakh students will take the examination every single day. But here we are talking about 5 days, which is why it could be 4 to 5 to 6 days. So the idea of the NTA now, as per the recommendations given to it by the committee, is that you spread it across 1,000 certified test centers in about 500 cities and towns of India to accommodate approximately 5 lakh students every single day. So if 5 lakh students are accommodated every day, you're talking about at least 5 days to start with, right? So I mean, if the same number holds of 22 to 23 lakh. So this is the big change that is going to happen, which means the examination will not be a one-day affair. It will now be spread over 5 to 6 days. So please keep that in mind. If you may be taking the exam on a Monday, your classmate or your friend may be taking the exam on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, pretty much like how the JEE mains happens. Now, the big advantage with this is that it will eliminate the multi-day physical transport and storage of paper, the question papers. That is, you need to kind of send it in. That's how the paper leak have happened. You know, you send it in advance, etc. That way, the chances of it getting leaked are much more at the transportation stage, or at the local stage, or at the stage where the question paper was being prepared. Now the question paper also will be prepared in a different way. I will do another video on what are the changes that are likely to be brought about in the way the question paper is going to be prepared. Instead, the question paper will now be encrypted digitally at the source level and then decrypted at the local level, at the examination hall level, only minutes before the exam commences. So if the exam is taking place, let's say assuming 5th of May 2027. So the exam paper will be decrypted only minutes before the exam actually starts, let's say at 2 o'clock. So it will be decrypted only around 1 o'clock or so, so that you are minimizing the chances of any leak before the examination. What is the impact for you students? That's what you need to know. Please take, and this is a mistake many students make, please take as many mock tests in the CBT mode. That will be absolutely necessary. Most students make the mistake of saying that let me finish all the syllabus and only then I will take the mock test. Don't do that. Do it chapter wise, chunk of chapters. You have finished one chapter, take a test. You have done 3 chapters, take a combined test. You have done an entire section, take the entire section test. But keep testing yourself on this in the CBT mode so that you get more and more comfortable with that whole process, because this is something which you have not got used to before. This I'm specifically saying for droppers who have kind of given it in the taken the NEET in the pen and paper mode in 2026, may not have qualified, and now will be moving to the CBT mode in 2027. So you need to make that switch. So the challenge is not just to cover the syllabus well, but also to be familiar with the new mode. So please practice class 12 students, class 11 students who would have started training, as well as the droppers. The biggest challenge will be for the droppers. So please keep this in mind. This is extremely important. Then the second big change is that government institutions are going to be made the exam centers to drastically reduce any kind of weakness, possibility of leak, the vulnerability quotient, attempt to cheat the system at private centers. The committee has suggested that the vast majority of these 1,000 test centers that are going to be certified and okayed by the NTA should be government-owned institutions, so that you have complete control over what goes inside this particular center. That is going to be done. So it is going to be government certified, government owned institutions. However, in case if it is necessary in some particular town or in some particular city where the number of government owned institutions may not be many which meet a particular standard, in that case strictly vetted private institutions will be used as second alternative. That may happen. Which will be these government-owned institutions? It will be the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools, the Navodaya Vidyalayas, and the state and central government institutions with secure, audited IT infrastructure, so that there is not a case where the computers are malfunctioning or the computers are not working properly, leading to problems for that particular student or candidate. So this is what is planned. This is big change number 2. Now, what I want you to do, you must be going for some kind of coaching, NEET coaching at some institution, or you may be following an online model, or your school itself may be imparting some kind of coaching. Whoever you are learning from, your mentor, please understand from your mentors what to do in case your PC malfunctions. Especially ask those who have also trained JEE students, because they will be more familiar, more aware of what to do and what not to do in case your mouse of your computer is not functioning. If the computer is giving some kind of a glitch like this, what is it that you need to do? You cannot waste time. You need to raise the red flag then and there in order to ensure that you are not suffering in any way. So do not panic. Know how to get help. This is extremely important. As I said, you are going to be the first batch which is going to give NEET, take NEET in the CBT mode. So you need to be mentally prepared and know exactly what is to be done. Big change number 3, transition to multi-session and multi-stage evaluation, because the exam will run across multiple days. As I said, 5 to 6 days. The committee has recommended moving to multi-session testing with standardized normalization, because it should not be the case that the Monday exam is very tough, but the Tuesday exam is very easy. Then the Tuesday exam students will get an advantage. So there has to be a system to normalize, right? So that has to be done, very similar to what happens in the case of JEE mains. It happens in the case of CAT, right? Which generally takes CAT exam for MBA, IIMs, takes place 3 exams on a single day. 3 exams on the last Sunday of November every year. So what happens is that the first session is in the morning, then the next session is in the afternoon, I think 12 to 2, and the last session is between 4 to 6. So then the normalization is done to ensure that nobody gains or loses in any way. So this kind of a normalization will be done in order to ensure fairness, and so that no particular student feels aggrieved as a result. The panel has also suggested, now this is going to be for the future, this will not happen in 2027, that is a multi-stage or graded examination format, that just like the JEE main and the JEE advanced, what the committee has also suggested is that you have a preliminary exam first, in which all the 22-23 lakh students take the examination, right? Of which the people who will qualify, then they will write the advanced NEET examination. So there will be a mains and then advanced, or you call it prelims, NEET prelims, and then NEET mains. So then they will qualify, which means out of the 23 lakh, you may have, let's say, 4 lakh or 5 lakh students who will qualify above a particular cutoff to write the mains then, and then they will, so that the numbers then become more manageable, right? It will also help students who write this and who may not be very ready, then they can actually stop preparation for that year and start working for the next year. They can do that. So actually it will be very good, but this will not happen in 2027. It could happen the year after that, depending on when NTA is ready to accept these kind of recommendations. Now, the fourth point is that the committee has also suggested that this entire NTA structure needs to be restructured. There is a lot of problems with the present manner in which it functions. The committee found the structural foundation of the NTA to be inadequate. The proposed blueprint outlines an institutional overhaul to be completed in phases. What would it entail? That they should have a lot many more technical experts drawn from UGC, drawn from IITs, so that they know exactly how to go about things. Right now, it is a particular cadre which is not considered very technical in nature. Then the deployment of advanced tech security. Under the newly proposed Digi exam framework, multiple high-tech safeguards are being institutionalized for future cycles. For example, this is done even now, but it will be made much more stringent. Mandatory Aadhaar-based biometric authentication at entry points to eliminate any kind of impersonation. Then comprehensive AI and machine learning data analytics to scan student response patterns post the examination to spot statistical anomalies or suspicious localized cheating trends. तो इसको डिप्लॉय करके आप ये पता कर सकते हैं कि क्या किसी सेंटर में या किसी शहर में किसी तरह की धांधली हुई है, किसी तरह की चीटिंग हुई है, any kind of cheating etc has taken place. So you use advanced AI technology in order to spot whether there is any kind of anomaly which has been detected out there. Because we have seen some centers which have kind of gained some kind of a notoriety because of high scores from a particular coaching center or from a particular town. So this is essentially to avoid any kind of doubts being raised at a later stage. Then mandatory multi-layer frisking, extensive CCTV mapping, and high-frequency mobile jammers at all designated centers to prevent any kind of malpractice at any exam center where NEET students are there. Will there be any change in the syllabus in NEET 2027? No. The committee has focused mainly on data security, technological infrastructure, and institutional integrity. So talking about how NTA should be restructured, how the exam should be restructured, how the integrity of the exam should be maintained, all those things are being focused upon by the Radhakrishnan committee. They have not spoken at all about the syllabus. So as far as the syllabus is concerned, there is no change. So no change have been proposed to the core academic syllabus for biology, chemistry, and physics as far as NEET 2027 is concerned. Okay. So share the video with others who are taking NEET. If you are not taking NEET, please share the video with those of friends who are taking NEET in 2027 and even in 2028. And subscribe to Careers with Sudhir, because here I bring to you news from the world of education which is relevant to each one of you, and also important career counseling videos, because many of us think that engineering, law and medical के अलावा और कुछ नहीं है. ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. There is a lot more to do in this world in terms of employment opportunities. So that's what I bring to you here on Careers with Sudhir. Tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. Namaskar.